Is anybody still long right now? When's the hat giveaway? Oh, you like my hat, right? That hat is pretty sweet. Don't jinx her is. She could give up 25K real fast too. Oh my God. Don't, yeah, I know. I know. Yeah. Man, I jinxed myself, man. I got stopped out, man. Jeez. I was in a great trade. I was like a dollar out the money. My toes are tapping. Ah, it's all good. Now we're getting that push up. Let's go. See how my long position is. Okay. I'm in a few longs right now, as a matter of fact. So I'm sitting in like what, two, four, six M&Q longs right now across 3 accounts. Aiming for a gap close. Let's go. Let's send it. It's looking good so far. Oh yeah, we're good now. Six oh eight, 611. Nice. Now we're getting that good push up. Looks like the Dow and the Russell are pushing as well to the top side of their range. The Dow's 30 points away from intraday high itself. Be right back for a second. But Riz dealer cluster is that 40. So that's top of market maker desire. Come down, sir. Well, let's see what happens during lunch. We still got another 12 minutes till the London close. Let's see what the Brits do. And we've been selling off for quite some time, though. And we haven't had a bullish day. And ooh, what would you say? Like 2 weeks, maybe? Let's see if the continuation follows. We're at the London highs, though, and we somewhat rejected them. I'd like to see this bull flag hold, though. You can see it there on the 15-minute. We're just kind of lingering around. We don't need no consolidation. We don't need no consolidation. We need this thing to rip. All right, let's go over some market news for the midday. Today is February 24th. The markets are dealing with a double whammy of tariff news, tech disruption that is creating a divergence between NASDAQ and gold. Here's a breakdown of what's moving your charts right now. NASDAQ, tech under pressure. The NASDAQ is seeing some great rotation, selling today as capital flows out of mega cap tech into small cap and cynicals. AI disruption fears. Technology stocks took a hit after Anthropic unveiled a new AI code scanning tool. This sparked off a sell-off in cybersecurity names like CrowdStrike and software giants like Microsoft, as traders fear the tool could disrupt the current security ecosystem. Trump tariffs. President Trump's move to implement a 15% global tariff, up from 10%, bypassing recent Supreme Court restrictions, is weighing on tech companies with heavy international supply chains. AMD is the outperformer. One of the few bright spots is AMD, which jumped over 10% earlier today after expanding its partnership with Meta. Gold, the safe haven tug of war. Gold is currently pulling back slightly from multi-week highs, trading around 5,170 an ounce. Profit taking after a 2% surge yesterday, driven by fears and the Middle East tension. Traders are booking profits midday. A hawkish Fed tone. Fed Governor Waller signaled that a strong January job gains might allow the central bank to skip a rate cut in March. This has strengthened the US dollar, which traditionally puts downward pressure on gold. Geopolitical fears. Despite the midday dip, gold remains supported by uncertainty surrounding the US-Iran nuclear talks in Geneva this Thursday and ongoing trade war rhetoric. NASDAQ bearish, leaning due to AI disruption fears and tariff uncertainty. But that doesn't really seem to be the case today. We've seen to catch a nice rebound on the market. But like BluSky pointed out, we might be at market makers high levels for the day. So we'll have to see what like these next like 20 minutes are going to be kind of a telltale. They can pull us back into like that big 15-minute candle, and we've got some good headway down. They could pull us all the way down to 24,921, although I wouldn't like to see that. I think if we were to come further down, we'll have resistance at 24,949. That's a 90 EMA on the 15-minute. All right, Nacho, you have a great day. We will see you mañana. Tomorrow, we need NVIDIA to start running so the market can follow. Yeah, let's take a look at the heat map. A lot of green across the board. Apple, Amazon, Walmart, Tesla. But yeah, we do need some NVIDIA. Yes, yes. As a matter of fact, the Russell is green today. It is green 0.882%. The Dow is actually green 0.79%. NASDAQ up 1%. And ES is green. Come on, give it to me. And tell me 0.58% for the day. So overall, a green session across the board. Everything is kind of going today. Well, you know me, I'm always looking for the easier trade. You know, I want it easy. I don't want it hard. So that's why I've been looking at it. I've actually been having some pretty decent luck trading the Russell as of lately. Pullback is still holding NVIDIA daily. Range like no other. Well, you know, you got earnings coming out tomorrow, so you're probably going to have kind of that. You know, you got a lot of uncertainty. You know, a lot of folks are hoping that it overperforms, and we'll just have to wait and see what it really does do. I'm interested to see if we get a push during the lunchtime session today, because we're at some good levels. You know, we could really start moving. We've got 4 minutes left for the London session, so let's see what happens here into London power hours close. Got 4 more minutes of that left. Slide over the Rankos, see if we got a sell signal there on the 18-minute. No bueno. Although the Qs are pushing up. But we've been ripping since the open. So the last 8, 9, 10 last 2 hours we've had an up move. So let's see how long this cools off for. $60-minute chart. I got the 65. I guess I could add the 60-minute. Oh, wait a minute. What am I thinking that? It's a 1 hour. I don't like. Yeah, it took a little bit of time on Moro, but I've been using the Renko charts for like a few years now. I normally don't have them up, for you guys to see because there's a lot of traders that don't know how to use, that don't use them or don't have access to them. Like if on TradingView, you got to have a professional subscription for that. So, most people on NinjaTrader can use them, but I mean, fairly simple strategy on them. You just wait for the first two boxes to form on NinjaTrader. That is, TradingView is a little bit different on that. I usually wait for the ghosting. Like once you get the sell signal, I'll wait to see if we get the opposite ghost, and then I'll take the short on that because that's the pullback, and then I'll write the continuation down. But like right now, I'm more leaning bullish for the day. I don't think we're going to retrace much. I hope we don't give up what we've moved, the move we've made. And 1 hour looks strong though to the upside. Notice we tipped the last selling wick. Look at the last swing high to the right. Were you trying to show me, Bay Fisherman? I'm still trying to wrap my head around what you're saying. Notice we tipped the last selling wick. You're talking about that 2504, 040 mark? Ah, gotcha. I was like, we're still selling going into the London close. Let's see how deep this retracement is. Oof. That's a sell. Yes, is under the 90 MA now. Oh, yeah. Okay, I get you now. It's a huge selling candle. Ja, come on, man. GG's already? Dude, it's early, bro. It's 10:30 in the morning. It can't be GG's yet. We're barely starting our day. Wow. Some of you guys have been trading since the pre-market with Mike. So you guys, most of you all are done. You guys know midday session gets rough. A lot of can lead to some choppy market conditions, things to that effect. So, And we are 2 minutes past our London close. Oh, Steve. That just means we have a bunch of trapped buyers up there, though. I mean, they got a lot more. They could take us down, though. They could bring us down to VWAP. VWAP on ES is at 6,868. See what happens, though. That's probably selling pressure from the London close, though, that we're seeing. But we did get that sell signal right there on the Renkos. So we know that the short side is in effect right now. I'm flat. Well, Algos got me long. Algos have me long right now. I'm not really many. Oh, I've got a few accounts that are autonomously trading for me right now. I'm about to reach the 90 EMA and the 15. Correct. We're also at the bottom of that bull flag that we had created. So let's see what happens here. Although you still got 11 minutes on this 15-minute candle. So let's see if it completely erases that big 15-minute candle that we had that push up. You know, that was probably that market news. We had a couple of reports from some Fed speakers saying about rate cuts and stuff. Oof. Yeah, the Dow is starting to sell aggressively, actually. See what the Russell is doing. Yeah, the Russell's pushing lower as well. Hmm. That's no bueno. Now we're breaching. Broke the 26 here on the 3-minute. Some buying pressure coming in now. Go back to M&Q, take a look here. You're a short bait fisherman? All righty. $57. Okay. It's a pretty nasty pullback there. Yeah, I noticed that the options chain was actually leaning towards the short side earlier. It's been like that since the morning. Market has been very rangy. They have been running these big swings and reversing quite a bit lately. This could be a monster short here. Have we? We really haven't had. I don't think I've seen that specifically. Oh, I guess that's that push up to the high, and then that's a sell off right there. Friday, we got to push up, try to hold it. Yeah, I guess going into New York lunch sold off. Yesterday we just sold, and then around New York lunch we tried to push up. Let's see what happens, big fisherman. You know, Amaro, that's what we used to do with my old trading buddies. We used to buy calls and puts way out the money, like on Tesla. Like before Tesla had the split, we used to trade the contracts that were like $2,000 out the money, and we would buy them super cheap. But you could buy a whole bunch of them. You could buy 40 of them for 2 cents or whatever. And all you need to do is those contracts to move to 4 cents. You know what I'm saying? Even if they move $1 or $2, since they're so cheap, it's all about having the quantity. Yeah, that was Tesla. But I think you could do it with Nvidia as well. I couldn't see why you couldn't do it, to be honest with you. I guess that's really what my point is. Hmm. Market holding. Maybe we'll get that push into New York lunch. I'd like to see a push to the upside. On the 5-minute, Renkos are testing the 200 again. I'm actually still holding the longs. The algo hasn't stopped me out on them yet. We'll see. We'll see what it does for us. Maybe we can get that push up. Tip to saying it's done. Oh, you already did your push-ups. No, that's right. That's right, General. We need a good push-up for your birthday, bro. Yeah, the thing about that, Amora, is you probably, if you wanted to do that kind of trade, you would have probably had to have done it like a couple of days ago, like 2-3 days ago. So you wouldn't have gotten the IV being so high. The other thing you could do is you could try to play the IV crush. I don't know if you've ever tried to do that. $40 short was free too. Took that one. Thank you. All right. Good luck to you, my friend. Good luck to you. Yeah, you could wait until the earnings and after the bell and let the price do an exaggerated move and then either buy a call or put once it does that. But I mean, it's one of those things you have to be fast on it, and you got to be prepared because that trade can go against you pretty nasty. That's right. SPX 690. Let's go. Candle's still facing down. We're still on the bottom side. We still got 2 minutes, 48 seconds on this 15-minute candle to close. You know what, Amaro? That's all of us right now, brother. It is we're all sloth right now. We're almost at that sloth hour. We got 20 minutes until New York lunch. Yeah. You got to be super, it's almost one of those, like, you got to put your, like, if you take the position, you have to put the sell order with it, which you can do on some platforms. There's some platforms you can do that. You can take the trade and you can put the sell order with it so that, as you go in, the sell order is already there. So if your limit order your limit buy gets filled, that your limit sell is already placed instantly. So that way, if you take profit, you take it right then and there, you know? Yep. And Q looking like a head and shoulder. What time frame? Under the 5. I see you. I see it right here. You got 1, 2. You just need that one more push and bring it down. No bueno. Well, you know, I guess we could sweep lows. Let's take a look at the heat map. Some neutrality kind of kicking in. It looks like it might. Making you want to get out of these calls. I'm trying to make you get out of anything, brother. You know, if you're thinking about, you know what, analyzing the trade while you're in it, that's always part of the process. You know, that's part of being an analyst. You know, because you're analyzing your trade, trying to establish, you know, your risk. You know, the last thing you want to do. Okay, so like, let's take a hypothetical, right? Let's say the market rips another, let's say another 65 points. We get to the Monday high. Let's say we get to 25,059. You know, when you start breaking those levels, you know, you really want to start scaling out or reconsider, you know, are you at that high point of the day? You know, will you see the exhaustion? You know, sometimes you'll get that extension, and then also what will happen is because IB will kick in on the contracts, you'll actually get a juiced contract, that the contract will be its most valuable at that time of day. That even if price gets back to that area again, because you're still, you know, maybe a point or two out the money, you may not be able to capitalize on it that way. Yeah, I think most of us are looking for that. You know, I think I'd like to see a lunchtime push on this thing. My original contracts that I had on the Qs are back at like 30 cents. They've lost value. The Dow is looking weak though right now. It's already broken under the EMAs on the 5. The Russell is just consolidating right now. Still green, but it's consolidating. Starting to kind of roll downward. It's a little scary. We still got 15 minutes for New York lunch though. Let's see what the lunchtime crowd brings for us. Maybe we can get continuation, you know, take out that London high. That'd be beautiful. Wait, is that the London high? Is it way up there? That's not correct. Oh yeah, it is. It is. And we're still writing the EMAs, which is really good. You know, I'm totally fine with us just writing the EMAs and just having that slow grind up. I'm almost break even on my NQ calls. Oh, I'm break even. Let's go. Well, one account is break even. It's because I scaled into it. I picked up an extra 2 cons. Let's see if I can set it at 17. I'm going to peel out 2 cons right here at 25,017. I'm going to take 2 cons out of my current position, and that should lower my entry a little there. See, let's see if we hold though. A little bit of a rejection on the Qs. The Dows are holding. The Dow is holding. Come on. I need 7 more points. Come on. Give me 7 more points of upside. Come on. Just a little bit more of a push up. Let's go back to the Renko candles and see what they did. I haven't gotten the pivot on these 18 minutes. My lower time frames have already. I got a buy signal on Renko's on the 5. Still holding. We'll gotta hold this 25 though. Gotta stay above it. Bag Coyote. Thoughts on NVIDIA and BlackRock? You know, NVIDIA right now is pretty volatile. We were talking about that in the Discord right now. Reason is we've got earnings. So if you were to trade NVIDIA, if you were to buy NVIDIA right now, you're trading into earnings tomorrow. So my best suggestion is manage your trade accordingly. You know, if you're not already in, I would base it on your risk tolerance. You know, what is your risk tolerance at? You know, can you afford to lose what you put into NVIDIA? Because unfortunately, technicals can go out the window with earnings plays. You can't rely on a technical trade on an earnings play because of anything that is said during the earnings call can adversely affect your trade, either positive or negative. So you got to understand what you're getting into on the trade and what news is kind of coming in the horizon. And, you know, for that reason, I don't personally play earnings plays. I don't do earnings plays anymore. I lost what my biggest loss, one of my biggest losses was was Tesla. Like a few years ago, I lost 14,000 on Tesla on an earnings play. So I'll never do that again. I paid the cost of that one. BlackRock. You know what? Let's take a look at BlackRock. What do they got going on? It's kind of like the market as well. Let's go on the daily on this guy. I don't see. Oh, we got a little bit of news on it. Just consolidating though. You've been consolidating in this range for a good while though. You haven't moved since February 3rd. So like the last month, you're almost basically right where you were at when we started the month. You know, sold into the beginning of February. That's realistically more where it is. We sold into February, try to bounce up, and now we're right at where that dip is. So the 4-hour looks good for you for upside. On the daily, you're fighting the 200 EMAs and you got 4 hours left. So I would really look and see how we close today. If you were to get above 1,087, that might give you something good for a move on it, in my opinion. Good luck to you on that. what is BlackRock's contracts going for? How expensive are they? The contracts are probably super expensive on this because it's so expensive. See, that's the other thing. You know, for you to buy a contract on BlackRock right now, it's $1,600 for you to buy an at the money call or put. So a lot of people just don't have that kind of margin. That's the other bad thing about it is it's super expensive. So, you know, you're bringing a lot of risk in having that kind of play in, you know, unless you're going for something further out of the money. But even then, you know, I just don't really see BlackRock making that kind of maybe a $20 move in a day, I guess you could see that. But even then, you know, I mean, if you were to do like a 120, so like if say for instance you wanted to take a 120 call on this, that's still going to cost you between $200 to $300. That's a lot of money. That's more money than I want to spend, to be honest with you, my friend. That's way more money than I want to spend. Yeah, I would definitely I don't know. Good luck to you on that one. It's just more expensive than what I would want to risk for a trade. And there's that bull flag holding up. Let's go. We get a buy on the Renkos yet? Not yet. Close to it. Close to hitting that supply demand. Hmm. Nice push. Nice push here on the market. That's an insane push on the market right there. Come on. We got 4 minutes left on this 15-minute candle. This is a good push, though. If we can close this 15-minute candle above the London high, probably we'll have another leg up. Maybe we could take out that previous week high. There's going to be a lot of congestion to get through, though. We got to get through all this. There'll be a bunch of sell orders up there, right in that 2580 range. Let's see what happens, though. We've got 4 minutes till the end until New York lunch. Oh, we get a push. It's going to be pretty significant. I expect that. How deep in the money are you, General? You must be. Wait, what? You tell me what you had. Yep, General's got a fold. I use the Pixel though. He's got the Samsung. Let's go. That's solid right there. 685. Should continue to get that push up. Have Wrinkles thrown the buy yet? Not yet. Close to it. You got to wait for them to form if you wanted to take the entry on that for the upside. Woo. Man, I'm up $189 in two MNQ cons since I cut those original two. Should have probably held the extras a little bit longer. I would have been significantly more green. Oh, did you try the trifold? Dude, that looks ridiculous. Dude, my hand already hurts from holding my phone as it is. Like after like an hour of like sitting on the sofa or like laying in bed, like just holding my phone in my hand, like my hand gets tired, man. Like even like my pinky now, like where I like try to hold it up, like that starts to hurt too, man. It's crazy. Oh, it does weigh more. I think that thing is cool. I heard that Apple has got their fold coming out soon. I heard it's supposed to be pretty nice. Did you hear about Samsung that they had a big old security breach that like their new devices all got like are in the wild right now? Oh. All right, there's that new 15-minute candle. Let's see what we do here. Welcome to New York lunch, team. No, like people actually have the physical device, the new launch devices for Samsung. That's what the word on the street is. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I was in Dubai. That's where that's at. Come on, give us that push. You should have got a buy signal here. Yep, there's the buy. That looks gross. That looks like a big old M on Renko's. Oh my God. I hope this holds. I hope this holds. Hope this doesn't turn into a big old M. Come on, push. Pushing 25.30 now. Come on, send it. Where my 609s at? 51 bucks. We're 2 minutes into New York lunch. We really haven't moved at all since Wednesday on the daily. I mean, we've been in this range for 6 months. You know that, right? Like we've been in this range like much longer than that. But we're at 25K, you know, so for us to go higher, we need like positive reinforcement. Now, on a good note, we have not had news to dump us. So there is that. So that is a positive note for us to reflect on for the market. You know what I'm saying? Let's go take a look at ES. ES looking a little stronger right now in the session than NQ is. giving us a little bit better defined up move here for the last 20 minutes or so. Let's see if it continues. Come on, rip it. Yeah, but that means the bar is in hell. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the market is resilient. Market is strong. Um, they're saying what home interest rates are coming down. So that's a good sign. So for those folks that are trying to get those 50-year mortgages, finally seeing some alleviation in the cost of those. I'm sorry to say that. I know it's not funny. I know it's not funny. I know it's not a laughing matter. You got to keep holding. Still pushing higher. Holding these levels nicely into New York lunch. Go back to the candle chart. Like 2 points away from the London high now. Still got 12 minutes on this candle. We got a long time. And don't forget, guys, today is Tuesday. If you guys are looking for help, looking for an edge in your trading, don't forget, we've got Coach Becky coming in this afternoon after market close with trade psychology. It's a fantastic free class offered by us here at Blue Sky for traders that are struggling with trade psychology, that they've got some strategies under their belt, but their mental is just not there yet. It's a great class that you can find out how Coach Becky and other traders are managing the stress and managing their trades in the intraday and finding their edge. So feel free to stop in that class. That's just 3 doors down after market close. For those of you watching on the intrawebs, the links are in the chat below. Oh, come on, push that 40. Come on, get over it. Do it. Come on. We got to give the general a good birthday. Oh my God, they don't want to do it. Whew, what a push. Come on, NQ. Keep pushing. NQ's pushing hard now. Come on, get over 40. God, you were just there. It's insane. Bulls are just fighting. They're fighting for it. Who's going to get exhausted first? The Bears. The Bears are getting smoked right now, man. We're cooking them. They're trying, but we break this level. We break this London high, and it's game on. You'll get a rip. There you go. There you go. Get it, NQ. Get it. Oh, we are ripping. Oh my God. Let's go. Well, there you go, General. It looks like the Bears are exhausted. They are out. They're getting put out to pasture now. We are ripping to the upside now. We've broken well past the London high. Man, the market is ripping to the upside. Where my 609's at, they're at 85 cents now. Jeez. Get it, General. Get it, bro. You are killing it, bro. You're out. Good job, bro. Good job. I hope you're happy. So we got a prior high of 25,139. Let's see if we can get there. I'll put a alert at 137. Still got 5 minutes left on this 18-minute candle. Let's take a look at ES. ES pulling back a little. I'm going to close one of my trades. So I locked up one algo. So about $140 in one account. In case any of y'all want to see, that's what I'm in right now. All my trades right there going on right now. So I'm trading 6 accounts right now. Nice. Congrats, General. Congrats. I have one more account in there, but I've already taken it out. $58. $58. And then I'm gonna close out one more of my accounts and start closing its trades so it can be flat. Got one left there. Two. I'm gonna close one of these guys on that account as well. So I'm just sitting in two trades now. I've got two accounts open and with two open positions. Nice. Congrats. That means General is green for the year. Congratulations. He's been killing it. General, I gotta say, man, you've made such a turnaround in your trading, bro. I told you, bro. I was like, your trades are good. You just needed better risk management. I hope you can see that now that your risk management is really what has brought you the profit, really turned it around for you. I think, from my perspective. Gold is catching a nice bid. Did you guys see that overnight sell on it? Hey, no problem. Marenko's still holding that buy signal. Bitcoin looking so weak. Bitcoin looking super weak. Hasn't made much of a move here in the intraday. Goes, yeah, still holding these highs, sitting at 6,904. We're 16 minutes into New York lunch. Don't forget, guys, we have a long day of trading, so it is New York lunch. We have a little bit of a little less volume than the rest of the sessions due to institutional traders being out. So it's a great time to, if you're not in a trade yet, still trying to figure it out, look at trade notes. Paper trading is also great. The difficult part about this session is that, you can get some pretty deep pullbacks just because of the lack of volume. Well, Phoenix, hope I'm saying that right. Or do you prefer 6? Pronex. Prawn 6. I'm butchering your name up. I'm just gonna call you 6. Hey 6. Honestly, I prefer to trade in Q, but for the sake of the traders here in the Discord, I prefer to use an M and Q con so that I can show how you can scale in and out of a trade. The unfortunate part is that New York lunch is very difficult to trade. I prefer to trade, take the morning trades. So really it's looking for levels that we pull back on. And since I was already, in a few automated trades, I've been kind of managing those more so. So I apologize for that. But I do prefer M and Q over ES and MES. And the reason for that is I like it that it's faster. So I prefer a faster trade, and I don't have a problem with volatility. I'm totally fine with that. And trading an M and Q con also gives you the lesser of the leverage. Now, if you're looking for something that might give you a little less risk, I would recommend taking a look at M2K. That is the mini micro of the Russell. So if you're like new to trading and you're trying to get your bearings and trying to figure it out, and you don't have a lot of money to start, and you want to learn, but you want some skin in the game, I recommend looking at M2K, or RTY. It's a slower trade, but the trend is usually better. Like we can take a look at RTY on this chart right now. And usually, for the most part, you usually have a much easier trade that you can take. And you can notice there's not a lot of volatility in the Russell, usually in the day session. Like yesterday, you could have taken the short on it. You could have entered that short, and anytime in the first hour of trading, you would have been green entering your short. So it really depends on what your experience level is and what your risk tolerance is. That's the other key factor here. Is really your risk tolerance. The last thing you want to do is take a trade that you're like you get emotional. If you're getting emotional in your trade, it means you're over leveraged, because if your emotions have the best of you, then you're not trading with a clear mind. And you need to be able to have a clear mind so you can dynamically adjust, because we're not here to marry a bias. Last time I checked, I don't know anybody that actually married NASDAQ, and neither have you. So really the ultimate thing you want to look at is how much more is left in the tank, or is exhaustion sitting in, and what is your trade? Is your entry good for continuation, or do you have to resort to the scalp because you're going to get stopped out? So I kind of vary. I like to flip between, sometimes I'll look at the ES just to see if we have a cleaner trend there. So sometimes one of the sisters will give you an indication. All the sisters are correlated. NASDAQ, ES, the Dow, the Russell. Those are the four sisters. But there's always a leader. There's always one sister that's leading the charge, and that's usually that's usually what I'm doing. Is I'm looking to see which one of them is doing what first. Like you'll hear me talk about the Dow, and that's one reason. If the small caps and some of the big wigs are carrying the Russell and the Dow, then I know that NASDAQ and ES are going to follow suit more often than not. They won't deviate. They do not deviate often from one another, but there's usually one that's kind of leading the charge and can give you kind of an indication of which way to lean. So that's usually the thought process that I have going on in my mind, that, when I'm flipping through tickers or, going through them, trying to see what, the other is doing. So that's why a lot of times you'll hear me call out the Russell, because if the Russell is like making new highs, the market's going to rip. The market's going to follow it. Or if the Dow is like, when the Dow was pressing 25K, the market was uptrending with it. Not necessarily making all-time highs, but it's following suit because the overall market is also in an uptrend. So that just kind of helps me know the trend and stuff like that. Thanks for the question. Appreciate it. Let's go back to NAS. What do you trade? What do you prefer to trade? Do you prefer ES or MNQ? MNQ, right on. Yeah, and in all honesty, I really like MNQ in the New York session. And in the after hours session, I like to trade the Sydney Open. That's my time. That is actually my best time of trading of day, is at the Sydney Open. So at the new open of the market, that's my time. In the after hours session, I like to use full size lots. So I normally will use an NQ lot size in the after hours. And during the day, I use the mini micro. And that's just so that way, the volatility is just crazy high right now. You can have any kind of news drop. And the last thing I want to do is be in a position and lose $1,000 just because there's a news drop. I can make up $120. Like I can make it up fairly quick. It's not hard if I really want to. But I would rather that if I'm going to be subjecting myself to risk in the midday session, I would rather it be with something that's not going to blow my account instantly, or there's going to be a news drop or anything, especially in the current market that we're in. We're in a very heavy news driven market now. You got the president, you have all these speakers, everybody's throwing news at us every which way. You got the war, you got tariffs. I mean, it is just, it's a minefield for traders right now. Now, I learned that during his first term. His first term, I was just getting annihilated, but I was oversizing and I was also like heavy risk on. So, this term, my approach has been to be smaller lot sizes and managing my risk better, putting my stops in, things like that. And that's just, you get used to that from the news cycles, like Biden. When Biden was in office, the market was like flat. We weren't getting crazy news in the market. It was just a slow and steady grind with the market. But that's reflective of the presidency. He's not focused on the market. He's doing other stuff. So, we didn't really have to worry about those type of news feeds. So you got to also kind of understand how the administration can affect your trading, which is, really difficult because never had a president that's been like this. I mean, there was never another president that had that was so opinionated about the stock market or cared about it so much. So it brings a very different dynamic that most traders aren't accustomed to. So, and if this is one of your first years of trading, I would definitely recommend, paper trading, kind of keep your ears to the ground as to what news might be dropping, things like that. Cause that can definitely save your butt. All right, we got 5 minutes till the bottom of the hour. Well above that London high. I like it. Let's go back to the 15, see how this is ending. We got 4 minutes. Got 4 minutes on that 15-minute candle. Yeah, I'm still in a few of my MNQ cons. I'm writing single MNQ cons across 2 accounts now. The other accounts, I've already closed them out. Decided to take profit. They were slightly green and, I'm just locking in the profits. So I'll log into that other account. Oh, nice. Green for the day in that account too. Sweet. I should have held it longer. Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. No, you're more than welcome to ask. You're more than welcome to ask. Yeah, I really look for pivots on the larger time frames. I'm more of a trend trader myself. So I got stopped out of my morning trade, to be honest with you. I actually took the long this morning. I took the long down here at about, what was it, 758-ish. That's about where I took the long. When I noticed that we were getting over the EMAs, I went long. We'd already had the long signal. And when we pulled back right, I got stopped out right in here. I got stopped out right in this range here. It's like my main cash account. I got stopped out right here, and then I just stopped because I'm already green for the day. I was already up. I'm up 50% on my port from that trade, so I just can't trade it anymore. I don't want to run the risk. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. But I've been going back to using my Renko charts like in the midday. So that's what I've been trying to do, just because it's so choppy. And if you're not already in a position at this time of day, it's very difficult to find one, to enter in without taking too big of a drawdown. Like yesterday we were working on I was actually working on some strategies. Like this is another strategy I've been working, the midway point. Says this chart here says that we should pull back to 25.14 at some point. That would be the top of the high range on there. Yeah, so like me personally, it's all about like time and day. I'm a big time and day kind of person, so that's like part of my trading strategy. I have like specific times a day that I look for trades. So I look at the Sydney Open. That's like my first like main trade time. So right at the open of the new market, I usually look for a pullback. So like if we've sold off, I almost always look for the pullback into it. So like yesterday, we kind of we sold and got that push. So when the 5 p.m. opens, I wait for the pullback and then I'll take the long off of it. And that's usually where I'll take it. And the reason I do that is because with this trade here, you can make with the full size lot, you can make almost $1,000 on this uptrend right there. And it'll happen fairly quick. It won't take that long. Well, not usually. I didn't trade last night because we weren't at a level that I liked. So I just didn't even bother. But yeah, that's usually what I'll look for. So I'll look for that. And then I look for the hour after the London close, which is 3 a.m. CST, which is right about right here. So like right in this time frame around going into 3, you usually see the sell, and there's that sell. You get a push down, and then it just depends. Sometimes you get continuation. And yesterday we actually bounced back up at that point. So we sold into the 3, and then boom, we started to pull back up. And then just started to range up into the morning session. Those are the 2 time of days I ideally like. I'm not really big on the morning at the open because it's so volatile, unless you're trading mini micros. My personal preference is I like to trade options at the morning bell. And the reason I like to trade options at the morning bell is because it takes less money to make more money, So while you guys are with Mike, listening to his coaching session, I'm usually doing same day expiration contracts at that time. And then I'm just done. And I'm just done for the day. So really I look for like 2 to 3 hours out of the day to trade. It's that opening, the Sydney, and then the opening bell, because I like to trade the 0 DTEs. Yeah, you're more than welcome, Unfortunately, I don't like to step in when Mike is here in the morning session because I don't want to throw a curveball on something that he's teaching in the morning session. So that's one reason why I don't usually put my trades in here. And then I've had some traders that are not fond of the options plays. So, but if I have someone that's asking for them, definitely I'll let you guys know. I will definitely let you guys know. That's actually what General and I usually do. We trade the open with some same day expirations. Absolutely. Hey, my favorite thing is leverage. I'm here to make money, and if I can do it with the least amount of money to make the most amount, nothing makes my toes tap more. Yeah, definitely. I will tag you. Yeah. What I probably need to do is I need to get myself a channel here in the Discord. If I could get myself a channel, I could drop in some of my trade ideas and stuff if you guys ever want to follow them. And don't forget, you guys can trade stocks and options stocks as well. We do have stocks available in our what is it? What is that? Volumetrica. You can get on our Volumetrica platform. It has come a long way. It's getting so good. And yes, you can trade stocks on that. You won't be able to trade options, but you can always buy leveraged, shares. You could do the SQs. SQs are leveraged. You can do Soxel. Those are 3x Soxel S, and those are 3x leverages against the semiconductors. What you got XLR, so you could trade all those other tickers that are there to you, available in the market. So you guys don't get sides. If you're getting kind of frustrated and you're like, man, it's kind of boring, the chop, it's a good capability that you can bring in something else to your trading style, to where, like, if the chop is done, or if you want to, start looking at, trading stocks, it's a good place that you can also learn and bring in. Oh, wait, where did I get my ES chart? I think I lost my ES chart. This is NQ. Just, then I got two NQ charts, three of these things. Hmm. Still pushing upward. Gold is testing the EMAs here on the 5. Let's look at silver. Silver didn't sell off nowhere near as much as gold did. It was holding up better. There are no zero DTEs on gold and silver today, so I don't expect much volatility today. I would imagine more of a range day for gold. Go back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's still holding. I don't want to look at this. I need to look at the actual Bitcoin, not the ETF. That thing will move way too slow. There we go. That's better. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so I guess maybe we might be catching a bid on Bitcoin here now. I'm in a couple of meme coins right now myself. I picked up some meme coins well, no, this morning, way early in the morning. I picked up a couple of shit coins on another platform. So we'll see what happens on those guys. A little bit of a rejection here. Market's hanging on to the Monday high now. Monday high at 25,059 here on NASDAQ. Still above the London high, so that is great, and the weekly open. So definitely good for upside if we can hold these levels. Do I use Bookmap? I used to use Bookmap 6. I used to use it when I used to hang with my buddy Apple and my other friends. I used to actually, I didn't look at Bookmap. I only listened to it. How crazy is that? The only thing I wanted to hear was the audio tones, like the iceberg orders, stuff like that, because those are the things that were important to me, because those are big order blocks. So if you're looking for, like, if you're a breakout trader, things like that, those can be really, really helpful for you. But yeah, I used to just listen to it. I would just be playing it on YouTube, and I'd just be listening to the audio sounds, because you can hear the buy and sell orders, And when you hear them increase in repetition, and you hear the pop, 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 that's when I know that there's an influx of orders. So depending on what my position, if I'm already in the trade, I know that we're going to get some movement on it. So, like, that's pretty helpful. Like, if you're in a trade and you're trying to figure out if there's exhaustion. Oh, nice, Alex. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we've got some great traders out there that are, using our platform and stuff, for sure. So it's nice to hear that, they're having great success as well. Yeah, I got a few friends I'm trying to bring in as well. I got a couple of other trader buddies that I'm trying to get them to come over to our side. I'm just kind of consolidating here, holding. Let's see if we have any news drop announcements. All right, let's see what we got on the announcements page. Oh, see promotions. Be sure you're set up on the Renko charts. You are on show today. Give a sell signal at the London close. How many bricks do you use? So Veet, what I use is a point 0.5. I use a point 0.5 on Trading View, either a point 0.5 or a 1, depending on the time frame. So like right now, I've got a mix. Well, no, I'm using 1 across on both. Yeah, so I'm using 1 right now on these charts, and then I'm usually on the 18 minute. The 18 or the 15 minute is usually where I sit on there. As far as my chart, yeah, absolutely. I'll share that with you. Oh, there we go. And I will drop that in chat for you as well. Just remember, you just got to make a copy of that and you can have that on your chart as well. All those indicators are all free. Yep. And my strategy's on there. So this is actually my trading strategy that I put together on there. So if you're using this, you're actually using my strategy. I built that one. Okay. Yeah, and if any of y'all ever want any of my charts, you're more than welcome to ask. I'm always more than glad to share whatever charts I use. Most of the stuff, everything you see that I share on the stream, it's either a tool I've developed myself or they're free tools that you can grab off a Trading View. Just like the chart that you see, the scale on the left that you see right there, that's the do-it-yourself strategy builder. So you actually can select your own strategies that you want to use, time frames, things like that. And it just puts it all together for you. You know, that's a cool thing about some of these tools, you know. And then just a bunch of my EMAs. And then I like to have the clock so I can see what time. But on this chart, being that I'm in Renko's time doesn't really make a difference on it. And I've got Spaceman, and that's it. We got a little bit of a pullback now. Let's see how this holds up for us. Let's go back to the candle chart. Still above that London high, so I like that. Although our orb high is way down below. I mean, a little scary, but you know, I think we'll hold. I think we'll hold quite nicely. Yeah, I'm hearing Amazon is continuing to rip to the upside. Let's go look at AMZ. Yeah, you got a lot of the Mag 7. Well, there is why the market is green. If you're looking for justification on why the market is moving to the upside, it's right there. You look at the heat map and you can see that there's green across the board. We're seeing a rebound across tech and it's translating directly into the market. So definitely great for upside. So 57. I'm gonna cut my 57 out. I don't want to give up any profit. I just might leave one account running, I think. See how green I am in that account. Okay, I'm up 446 for the day in this account right now. I don't even know how green I am across the board. I'm 229 green on this one. So I'm like $1,000 green across all my accounts. That's cool. What was that rejection bringing us back into that London high? Got a minute left on this candle right here on the 9 minute. Yeah, nice to meet you, 26. Nice to meet you. Was today your first day inside the Discord? You just been hanging out inside of you just been trading on the Blue Sky platform? It's always nice to meet our new traders and new folks that are joining our group. Oh, all right, all right. Nice. 3 accounts pass. Sweet. Congratulations. Today's your first day on the live. Whew. All right, my friend. All right. Well, good luck to you. I can't wait to see your payout. Well, I'm going to cut that last runner. I don't want it to go red, so I'm just going to kill that trade. I'm flat now for the day. I think Bait Fisherman was short earlier. Hey, Bait Fisherman, you still short? Or did you get short again? I got a short signal on the 5 minute. You got let's see, the 200 down at 25,020. Nice. Probably will be getting close to throwing a sell signal here if we continue getting selling. Oh, good luck. We might see a decent pullback on it. Starting to get it now. Got 13 minutes till the top of the hour. Let's see if we can get under the 9. Still got like 6 minutes left on this 9 minute candle that's pushing further down. Might just be the move here. This is at 20. I think so as well. Oh, you like those Renko runs? You took a look at my chart? And like I said, I don't normally use these, but they're super helpful during the midday session. Yeah, since I got switched back to midday, I've got to readjust. So I'm having to like, reassess like the midday session of how to trade it. So that's actually why, if you notice, I'm sure you have, big fisherman, that you see the wrinkles more on my charts again. It's just it's just such a difficult time of day to trade. You really got to find the pivot. Otherwise you get chopped up, the last couple of days, I was just like, oh, I was like, I had to go back to my trade journal, and I had to go back like a couple of months to figure out where my midday trades were. My wife was laughing at me. She's like, "Man, you got papers all over the place. You got a mess." I had a mess on my desk because I actually have a physical journal. I write. I'm not did. I don't put it in digital because I want something I can take with me. Or like if I want to go sit on the sofa and I want to just write on my journal and stuff. That's kind of how I do it. And yeah, it took me a minute, but I finally got it. And I was like, okay, so I got to go back to this, and that's why we're here. I got the sell signal though on the 5 minute though on the Renkos, but we're already kind of ghosting up. Oh, they just threw the buy one more time on this thing. Jeez. But you got to be careful on like strong bullish trend days because it'll be like this. It'll slow down just enough to kind of like juke you out, and then you're all of a sudden like, okay, we're gonna just continue on. Like right now, I've got a high side target on NQ at 25,072 for a more upside. Am I on the right time frame? This doesn't. Yeah, sure is. I bet you on MES this wouldn't have even stopped. If you're an MES, you'd just still be in it. That's crazy. You wouldn't even get out of that. There'd be no reason to get out of it on a yes. I'm gonna have to redo some of these because I think there could have been some way better entries. Yeah, not a bad day. What's everybody else looking at? Anybody looking at anything else? About 6 minutes from the top of the hour now. What the market does here. Pushing quite nicely. Intraday high sitting at 25.76 now. A little consolidation here in this range, but still holding quite nicely. Hey, Jittery, how's it going? Good to see you. Good morning. Let's see if we got any news on the intrawebs now. So you can look over anything. Man, we almost took out that 609 on the Qs. So close. So close. Did you guys see any of my levels for this morning? My breakout levels on the NAS? Ooh, they look like they played out pretty well today. We had that breakout at 24,978. So that was about right here. Would have given you a decent entry for the breakout. Still got my first take profit is 104. That's the high side target on that. We didn't even get to that. Yeah, I'm just going through the news feed right now, trying to see if there's anything. NVIDIA announced that they're hiring Linux driver engineers focused on Vulkan performance is more than a routine recruitment update. It's clear signal that the shifting dynamic within the gaming and computing industry for years, Linux gaming was viewed as a niche, experimental, and community driven. Oh, wow. Okay. That's really cool. They're going to start bringing in some Linux driver engineers. Anybody here use Linux?
I used to use, I still use a little bit of Linux. I use a lot of Arduino stuff, so that's all based on that.
Interesting. Jamie Dimon says he's starting to see parallels to the era before the 2008 financial crisis, when a rush to make loans ended disastrously. Well, welcome to the end of New York Lunch Team at the top of the hour now. So let's see what the market makers have in store for us. Will they give us that continued push upward? Retail has brought the market above the London high, holding above that 25,040 and holding better yet above 25,000. Just like some traders said, we could lose it just as fast as we gained it. It looks like for the time being, we're holding. So I'm leaning towards the bullish side now. Oh, wow. So Meta has agreed to a deal with AMD to buy over 100 billion worth of AI computing and potentially a 10% stake in AMD. Wow. That's what moved AMD this morning. That's crazy. I didn't even see that. Let's go back over still holding that long. Still holding that long. Have not gotten another signal to go short yet. Might have to wait for an end of day trade, it looks like. Oh, wow. Meta's launching a smartwatch. Hear about that? Huh. And their smart glasses aren't even selling that great either. Anybody that likes Ferrari, race is up 5% for the day, sitting at 376 per share. But we're getting that continuation to the upside. Let's see if we hold though. A little bit of a rejection, set a new intraday high at 25,080 now. Might just get a sell signal here. Maybe we'll get a little bit of profit taking, pull back. They're getting that push down. I haven't gotten the sell signal yet on the Qs yet. Our team just basically kind of waiting to see what's happening, what we're gonna do here. That's it. See what Bitcoin is doing. Pulling back down again. Rejected off the 200. Take a look at silver. Silver's holding the top side of that range. Let's check out gold. Over the 200, over VWAP here on the 5. Got a little grind to the upside. See if that holds. On the 5-minute, I got the sell on the Renkos now. Probably end up tapping 25,041. I'd be about right there. Probably scalp a little short there, grab a few points. Might be the pullback where we're looking for. The volume is starting to kick in on the Qs. Oh, there's a sell signal there. During power hour, there's gonna be a briefing with the Senate with Marco Rubio and one of the guys from Central Intelligence about the Iran situation. Sorry about that, team. I was just trying to get all the details. Be right back for a second. Use the bathroom real quick. There's that short still holding. All right, team, I'm back. Team. Out in the water, out of rocket fuel, man. $996. I mentioned that night that 40 looks like we're a few points above it. I'm gonna tap it now. A bit of nice short right there. Ding, just tapped it, just broke below it. Under the EMA's holding now. Let's see if we have anything else moving in the market right now. Nvidia is barely green, 0.85%. AMD is up 9.87%. LRMR is up 31.85%. Is that LR? Lamar. They have jumps pre-market on breakthrough therapy designed for lead compound. That's why they moved up so much. They pumped up a dollar off that news. Nas is starting to break a little down under the London high. Definitely not a good sign if you were looking for continuation to the upside. Feels like a short might hold up well on this. Although on the 5, you're right at the 200 right now. So let's see if we hold this on the 5-minute. Might just pivot. Let's go back over to the Renko chart and see what this guy does for us. Oh, you re-entered it? It was like a V-top. Might very well be. Let's just see how deep of a retracement you get on that, Bay Fisherman. Is anybody going to catch the State of the Union address tonight? It ought to be an interesting address. You know, you got some conflicting points of view of where the administration, you know, the GOP is taking the GOP. You know, you got some GOP senators kind of stepping away from, you know, the consensus of what is happening from the policies coming out of the White House. You know, they got midterm elections coming up. I'm hearing news that, you know, Trump might turn into a sitting duck president as the midterms approach. That would be very interesting, you know. That sell is still holding, Bay Fisherman. Yes, not moving as fast as NQ is though. Let me take a look at the Russell and see what the Russell is doing. Russell's still holding up. Still green, 1% green for the day. Overall market is still green though. All right, looks like lunchtime has gotten here for me just at the right time. So might just be a little quiet, but I'm just gonna have myself a little burger and some fries. But still watching this price action, trying to see if we're gonna hold this level or if we're gonna dip further. No, Bay Fisherman's hoping for a downside. Looks like the Russell is starting to roll over a little. Nvidia is still holding up the market overall. Take a look at the Dow and see what the Dow is doing. Dow's still holding. Like Bay Fisherman short is working. Man, you got to hate getting stuffed out of that, right? Bay Fisherman. Get that pullback like that, and then to see the price move. Bleh. Nice. Yeah, I don't think we'll pull back that far with the market being so green, you know? You need something to really dump. We'll see though. I mean, we could come back down to 25K. I don't want to see it that low myself, but I mean, I could care less because I'm not even in a position right now. I'm flat. Oh, I'm waiting for the bigger move. This might be it though. I mean, they could sell us off. It's just not the right time of day though. Usually that would happen about another hour from now if we're going to get a change of trend. This is more like a consolidation. Start freaking you out. Start screwing over all the guys that have zero DTEs. Oh yeah, the sell came in. Still pushing. I wonder if those contracts closed out. That's crazy. Algos are still long, even though I took profit. Renko money open. They're probably red right now. Oh, no. Strat. What was the other one? Oh, what is that thing? King's Jester. I think that was it. It's down $7 with the MNQ con. Huh. Yeah, I'm glad I took profit on that. Trend line. Like that, right? That's what you mean, big fisherman? The top side of the range, right? Cool, 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 cool. Interesting. Well, let's see. Let's see what happens. I got your trend line there. Go back here. Short still holding. I haven't had a long signal kick in yet. Yes, still holding well. The Dow's still holding up, although it's under the 9 now. It's getting close to testing the 26 on the 5-minute. Maybe you will get that cascade down. On the 5, we're under a VWAP already. Oh, we're under the 200. I'm sorry. Move it to the top of the wick. Gotcha. $25.13 may be a problem. I mean, you're going to have a problem all through this range if you want to get below it. You have a lot of buyer and sellers right there because you're like back in that bull flag. But you could get a pretty nice sell though. You got a good range down that they could dump us. Hey Rob, how's it going? You think that NQ was moving buns after the open? I honestly think we had some great moves all the way up to about the middle end of New York lunch. Imbalance high VWAP on the first band is where the trend continuation can show up. Okay. On the, let's see where we are here on the 18. No, the 9. Yeah, it looks like you'd still have to come down to like 24,921 for that to happen. You've also got the 26 right there, like where you pointed out at the 2513. You can see it right there. It's the red line. But if we wick down into it, that's usually a spot you can long it. That's what I usually like to do. I usually like to catch that long off the wick under the 26. And look at that, starting to hold it, trying to hold it. The Dow is holding as well. Yeah, I agree with you on that. If we can hold, although I do have a 24,996 as a magnet as well. What's up, Mr. Positive? How's it going? How's your day going? Good to see you. Bad Coyote. Should I buy some Lockheed? Perfect. You know, it really depends. You know, are you trying to get in on something because of the war? Or are you looking for something to happen on Lockheed Martin? Take a look at it. Pushing pretty nicely here for the day. Wow, so they're starting to use AI models in their flight. That's really interesting. I didn't even know that. Lockheed Martin applying AI to enhance F-35 combat identification system. I don't know what else is going on Lockheed. Earnings. Oh, dividends are coming up on March 2nd. That's all I've got for it, though. It looks bullish, though. Like the daily looks good on it. What strike are you thinking? Or are you thinking about buying shares on it? You like some expensive stocks, huh? Yeah, you definitely like some expensive stocks. Coming over from the BlackRock shares to now the Lockheed. I like Lockheed. I think it's good. A little expensive, if you got the bags for it, if it's a long hold, could turn out to be good. Broken out of the top of the range. Yeah, if you're taking a swing for it, I don't know what other news you would be waiting for unless you're hoping that something out of Iran or they got some orders. I work for General Dynamics out of Fort Worth, where they were building the F-16. The plant was adjacent to the Air Force Base airstrip. It was wild seeing that huge factory line, over 30,000 employees there. Yeah. Yeah, no kidding, right? It's crazy that men, people, assemble such, like a fleet and stuff. That's just awesome, just cool, the scale of it, just how big it is. The market is holding, looks like it's trying to get back over that 040 mark. We done with the sell cycle for the day. In the 5 minute, I just got a buy signal. This would be your entry. Your take profit would be at 20, 40, 49. Let's see if we can get that continuation up. Mhm. Desert Storm happened in January and they canceled a bunch of contracts for the war. Quota layoffs across every group dropped below 20,000 employees. Finally, Lockheed bought them out. Okay. Desert Storm. Wow. No, it was fast. My take profit got hit quick. I took a long off that. I took a quick little scalp off of 20, 25,000, 40, 75. And then I took profit at 25,049 and a couple of M&Q cons. Yep. Those are around like 95, 96. All right. Holding for upside now. Mm, 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 mm. You still holding that short, big fisherman? Dow's pushing up, going after that intraday high now. Russell's lagging the move that the Dow is making right now. There goes Dow. Oh, can we get a new intraday high on the Dow? Intraday high on the Dow is 49,320. And we're just a few points away from it. What? I don't went to Costco. To get the mint ice cream. Really? I haven't tried that. I've had it before, like different, like that's pretty good. That can be really tasty. May have trapped some buyers there at. I think we got a bunch of buyers trapped up above because when I looked at the candles on the NQ on the higher time frames, they had those big wicks. See, those are all buyers just trapped in this candle right here. That's the way I look at it. There's a bunch of buyers there. They're just trapped. And then the other thing I look at too is that there are no sellers. But the only bad thing about this is on the 15, it looks like a topping tail candle. Yeah, it looks like the top. You know, te están poniendo el tapón there on the top. You know, that's the only thing I don't like about those kind of candles. You know, but like I said, also there are no sellers here. They're not there. So we'll see. Buy signal still holding on the 5. You'll probably get that nasty wick at the close of the bell, General. Be honest with you. The only thing is you can't trade that until the last. You got to wait until like the last 15 minutes of the day. Because you have no idea where we're going to end in the next hour and a half. You're going to have to wait till the end of the day. It's too early. Either that or in the next like 30, 20, 15, in the next 25 minutes, roughly the next 25, in 25 minutes, roughly, you possibly could take a change of trend trade there. Like if you want to take the short, you'd have to wait until like 110, 115, which like I said is another 25 minutes or so from now, and see where we end up there. Yeah. This is my time and place that I noticed that that's the occurrence. Like you could see the trend change at that time. Like 2 weeks ago, we were getting a 120, like 115, 120 pivot right around that time frame. Like if we sold, we'd have this pivot and we just start ripping, into the close. But then you get a nasty pullback right at the bell. So, you'd have to be out before that. You get that push up, and then like those last 20 or so, you got to get out because whatever you're in is probably going to have an IV juice. Well, happy birthday to you, General. Is today your birthday or is it tomorrow? Or is it your birthday week? Today? Well, happy birthday, General. It really depends on the auto settle. You have to be in the money for that. The thing is you got to be in the money for it. The problem with those is that, like, if you're trading XSP, it's so delayed. So what you see now may not be where it ends up, and it can move drastically at the close of the bell. So unless you're deep in the money, I wouldn't let it close. Unless you're looking for like that last 5 minute of the day, you know, taking a contract from $2 to $30, that's a whole different situation. So you got to decide on it's really a question of what you're trading, how far in or out of the money, because that's going to make you or break you. You know, like me, like what I usually will do is I will take the out of the money trades. I'll go like $1. I'll go $1 out of the money, like at the last like 15, 20. I'll start looking at contracts there. So then I'm looking at the 2-cent contracts because that's about how much they'll be at that time of day, right? So you're gonna be like $2, and then you just start trying to figure out what do you want to do. You know, is 2 out, 2 up, 2 down, so where you're out of the money both on the short and the long? Are they both 2 that you could hedge and then take them both? You know, sometimes I'll do stuff like that, and that's really what I'm looking at. And like today, I probably will looking for the downside, you know, to see if we'll sell into the like at the bell. You know, the other thing you could do, you could buy a contract with the next with the longer expiration, maybe a day out, 2 days out. That way, you're not you're not going to be SOL end of day. You know, that would be the only thing about that would get me. Should get a pullback now. So we're going to get a sell signal on the 5, maybe, unless this is just a pullback. Let's see. Unless this is just a rejection. The Dow set a new high of the day, sitting at 49,328. This might be a pullback for the entry. $691 put. Yeah. Yeah. What is the Russell doing? Is the Russell ripping upward? Russell's going for high of the day. $300, you say, huh? Yeah, and the 5, I just got the sell on Renko's. There's a buy signal right there on the 18-minute team. All right, we got about 8 minutes to the top of the hour, team. Hope you all have enjoyed the morning trading session with this. Don't forget, if you all enjoyed Mike's price analysis in the morning session, you can catch Mike here each and every morning at the morning bell. And me followed up after with the midday session. Today's Tuesday, so don't forget, we've also got trade psychology after market close. We also have Coach BluSky coming in at 6 p.m. Eastern with his afternoon session trading. He likes to trade to Asia, does trade psychology, coaching, strategies. I mean, he's got a mixed bag. He did like a beautiful PowerPoint presentation last night. Super informative. Bunch of traders were really happy with the course he gave last night. You know, free classes. And then, of course, BluSky killing it in gold in the after hours. I'm sure he made a ton of money off that sell-off in the gold. So don't forget, we've got tons of free classes. We've also got Power Hour coming up here in about an hour and 8 minutes. You can catch Coach Becky and Coach Matt for that session as well. Well, he covered a bunch of stuff yesterday. It was just, I don't know if he's recording his classes. I'm gonna have to talk to the team and see if we can get those recorded. You know, if you guys want, I can pop in for the after hour session. I can definitely, hang with you all in the after hour session. It's just that I trade a lot of different things. I'm trading a lot of various things simultaneously. So sometimes it's a little hard for me to, show everything I've got kind of going. But in the after hours, if you want, we can do a Sydney session. I can start up with you guys. Yeah, and the midday session is tough. I'm not a big fan of this time of day. The range can be really tight. Oh, my son's doing great. He's doing great. Right now, he's still buying and selling shares. So that's the only thing I have him doing right now. So right now he's trading the SQs. So that's what I have him doing now. I have him doing that. And then what else do I have him on? I got him in SQs. And then there's a couple of other leverage shares I've got him on. ZSL, XLRE, I've got him in that as well. So, but he's mainly trading leverage shares. Because if he can learn how to make money buying and selling leverage shares, he can trade anything. But it's easier for him to save money and not lose money. The only thing he has to worry about is rebalancing. But I know the dates of the rebalance. Well, I have a rough idea of the rebalancing, so I can get him in and out quick. But he's doing good. He's doing good. We're buying a couple of shares a month. I've got him following some of my trade ideas. So he's like buying silver right now. He was actually thinking about buying some physical gold this week. I think he's on like some drop from Supreme that they're gonna put out gold bars. So he wants some like Supreme gold. I don't know. But yeah, he's doing great. He's all excited. So I can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah, by summer he'll be chilling with me here in my office. So you'll probably hear him here in the background. Once he graduates, boom. So he's only got 3 months left. He's super excited. But yeah, I've got him, buying and selling shares. He's got his brokerage account, and yeah, he's doing all right. Keeping the reins on him, not letting him get too degenerate. It's difficult, but he's got something I don't have. He's got the capability of being as aggressive and as risk on as he could ever imagine. Because right now he lives at home with his mom and dad, and I'm gonna pay his bills if something happens. I told him, I was like, you just got to bank, learn your strategies. And then when you're ready to get risk on, you start getting risk, so that you can build that port. And that's what it takes sometimes, though. But, having the safety net makes it all different, He realizes that, he's just like, he's like, Dad, I don't know how you do it, managing the stress of what we need as a family and what you got to make and everything else. It's crazy. It's difficult. I'll say that. General knows, he's my trade buddy. I talk to him. He hears me. He hears me struggle sometimes. It's very cool though. I wish I would have started trading when I was living at my mom and dad's. Could only imagine where I'd be now. But I wouldn't have been able to trade the way I do now. The platforms didn't exist like this. I don't even know how I would have how I would have gone about placing my trades. So I guess I would have had to use a dial-up modem back then. Yeah. Yeah, that's about right. I would have been on a 56K. Man, the trades cost $29.95 a trade back then. And day trading only became a household name in the dot-com bubble from 98 to 99. That's really interesting. It's a nice pivot on the market right there, going back up. The Dow's just trucking along. Go over there and let's pull the Dow up. Still holding quite nicely. How about RTY? Yeah, let's go back to NQ on the regular chart. I want to see what my lines are. I get all my 4-hour lines here. So as long as NQ stays above 25,025, you should see continued further upside. Still sitting on the 90 MA on the 15-minute, although the pullback is, it's still there. End of day, running out of time. We got an hour till power hour, so don't forget about that. Let's see. Where's my other charts? I think you could take a short here. I think you're going to give it up here at the beginning of the hour. Well, we're starting to kind of consolidate here. It's going to be difficult. You got to break these levels here if you want to get further down. You got to break the 25, 26. You got to get under 25K if you really want that downside. We are under the 200 though on the 5. I'm going to attempt the short on this. Are you still short, bait fisherman? I want to see if we can tap into 25,008. I want to see if we can get down to right here. Might be it. I'm in the short. I took it short. Well, a few points green. I took it with the 2 M&Q cons right now. My stop will be at 25.43. If we get to that, I'm going to stop out. Should really be at 25.53. That should be my stop. Wait, that's a buy limit. Buy stop. There you go. Let's see. Do we have any other announcements or anything? Oh, Coach Breezy's got a ton of stuff. Yeah, don't forget to check out Coach's Education. I think Coach Breezy dropped in. Oh, he did drop in when he was teaching last night. Yeah, you know what? Somebody was asking about emotional, what Coach Breezy was teaching. So he was teaching Hold and Hope version 1. And you can catch his PowerPoint presentation inside of Coach's Education. He's got that dropped in there. So definitely check that out as well. I'm still shooting in the short. I'm on like break even. I'm up like $4 now. Let's see if it sells. I'm playing green today, so I got some money that I can expose. Again, don't forget we've got Power Hour coming up in an hour. You can catch Coach Matt, Coach Becky here, as well as Trade Psychology Aftermarket Close. That is just 3 doors down. For those of you watching on the interwebs, check the link in the description below. Jump in our Discord. We've got some fantastic classes going on throughout the week, ranging from trade psychology, our mentorship program, different strategies from all of our different great coaches here at Blue Sky. And from all of us at Blue Sky, I want to wish you guys a great day. Hope you all made some money here in the market. I'll definitely work on Fox. Stop in tomorrow. I will have something for you tomorrow. Okay. I'll have some stuff prepped up for you and stuff, and I will definitely help you. If any of you guys want to trade with me in the after hours, feel free to shoot me a message. I try not to step in, because we've got the other coaches and their after hours sessions around that time. So, I don't really want to take, away from those guys because they've got some phenomenal courses, but I'll definitely pop in this afternoon and stuff, and I'll hang with you all if you all want to do some trading in the Sydney session. So I will be by for anybody interested in stuff. All right, team. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take a little break there. It means that you'll have to wait about an hour for Becky and Matt to come in. So don't forget about Power Hour. You all have a great day in the market. Good luck with the trades. Don't marry those biases. I am still short. I'm looking for that 25.08 mark. My stop's at 25.054, and I'm in 2 M&Q cons. So
I'm playing some short-sighted action for now. Hopefully we get under that 9 EMA. All right, team. You all have a great day, and we will see you all tomorrow.